This is God Off Topic.
I'm Mike.
I'm Jason.
I'm Neisha. We talk about everything from Disney movies
To blowjobs.
And everything in between. Hopefully we don't offend.
We probably will.
This is
God Off Topic.
We're back.
Ayo.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers. We're back doing this again.
Momo again?
Man.
Mo.
No.
Mo. Our topic today.
What are you laughing at?
You?
Mo. Why is that funny? Genius.
You're not. This isn't carrying over from the last episode, is it? I mean, you were pretty animated the last episode.
Yeah. Have you been amped up this whole week? Like, I can't wait to get back in there and tell these motherfuckers what's up.
No.
Okay.
Calm down.
There's no more football season right now, so that'll help.
I hate football season.
There's no kickers.
Spring
There's no
training
anything going on
nothing
right
going
now.
on.
Our topic is going to be: do you follow your heart or your head?
Do you think logically or passionately?
Well, that's a good way to say it too. That's going to be our topic today.
I know we're not going right into this right now, but I'm just going to say right up front that I do not enjoy this topic.
Oh boy!
Oh,
Well, that means Jay and I really
All
enjoy
right.
it now.
let me put some padding on my arm.
You might not get a lot out of me on this one. I'm a very private person.
Well,
Jason's like, yeah, sure you are.
All right. Well, before we get there, Tanisha's silence. Do you guys have some oddball news for us? Like our
Go for it, Mike.
I have oddball news. I'll start off. I got my copy again. Start my oddball news.
I got my copy too.
She's shaking her phone or something.
Thanks, Jay,
very,
for the
very
sound
quick.
effects.
I gave you a sound effect.
Very rapidly, by the way. Wow. Good thing. Yeah, I know you don't roll your R's, but do everything else pretty quick.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, please comment below
I'll
if
take
you're
that.
aware of that.
I'll take
The only person that could comment doesn't listen to this
Doesn't
podcast.
Well, I don't know. We don't know that. There might be others out there.
True.
All right. This story, another story. We had some stories from Germany for a while. Now we're on this England kick.
Old England.
The English.
Now we don't have any English
And
listeners.
this is
London.
They all just left.
speaking of England, this is not an episode.
We have a lot of English listeners.
This is not an episode of Black Mirror. This is just a story from England. Okay, here we go. The headline: 3-year-old girl sees Tigger having sex in the bathroom. Which is Tigger? Is that a U.S.? That would be which Winnie the Pooh? Is that U.S. or?
I feel like they probably show it.
I mean, they probably
elsewhere.
do, but is that like a? I don't. It doesn't matter. Some 3-year-old saw Tigger banging in a bathroom. Anyway, Marianne Saunders took her 3-year-old granddaughter into a public restroom in a town in England. She was shocked to see what she claims was a man dressed as Tigger having sex with a naked woman.
Oh, it's furries.
It's not the weirdest thing I've ever heard of.
Furries are a thing. They have parades.
Maybe not
and shit.
even what you've seen.
I
mean, we had an episode where we talked about our Johnson to the gay clubs.
It's true.
So I didn't really ever see Tigger, but we've seen things.
Yeah, we've been around the block.
We've seen things.
Yes, we have. This incident happened. She said the child entered the bathroom, and then the costumed man and his partner were having full-blown sex. The lady then reported it to police. When they went into the room, the two people slammed the door in my granddaughter's face and caught her hand in the door, resulting in bruising her fingers.
That sucks. It's a tragedy.
And she wrote, "This is a disgusting act in a restroom." And then what's funny is the grandmother says,
disgusting.
In the restroom. There's a room for it, and it's not the restroom.
What's funny is the grandmother said Tigger and his companion both look to be in their 30s, which I'm not really sure how she could tell the age of Tigger. But anyway, who knows? Maybe Tigger. I don't know what Tigger's supposed to be in cat years. Maybe. Who knows?
Cat years.
What's funny is, so it's it says that there was an arrest, and then eventually the charges were. It doesn't go into the story about how they got charged and this and that, but it said an arrest was made, and then it said eventually the charges were dropped when authorities realized What they thought was a video of a woman and a tiger was actually the video of a woman and a human man in a tiger costume. Because they originally got them on accusations of of being part of bestiality porn. Is what they charged them with.
Yeah, no.
And then it were dropped when they realized, oh, that's not a tiger.
It's furries.
Taking him into the station.
A little fun.
You're having sex with this tiger.
Tiger.
No, I'm telling you, it's a man in a suit. No, that's a fucking tiger right there.
No.
Well, eventually they realized it was a man.
It's a wicked tiger.
It's not a tiger. It's a tigger.
It's a tigger.
Yeah, I'm not sure how the justice
This motherfucker's not a tiger. It's a tigger, mother. I know a tigger anyway.
What an interesting story.
That's it, So Tigger,
It was weird before, they thought it was normal. It was bestiality, and
yeah, it was actually just Tigger.
Just Tigger. Man in a Tigger outfit.
All right, I got one.
All right.
This is from mid last year, June 2017, from Madrid, Spain. Mixing it up a little bit.
Okay, good. We need
going
to
Spanish.
Move it around a little bit.
Spanish up in here. Antisocial woman pretends to be blind for 28 years so she wouldn't have to greet people. So, 28 years ago, Carmen Jimenez from Spain, Madrid, Spain, became completely blind due to a serious eye injury. At least that's what she told everyone, including her own family, because she was tired of having to say hello to people she didn't actually want to greet. The 57-year-old woman revealed that she had always been able to see perfectly, which left her family in shock, even though she had always suspected that something was about her condition. That was a weird sentence. Maybe that was just me. I don't know.
Something odd about her condition, maybe?
Suspected that something was about her condition.
Yeah.
That's how it's written. Meh. Her husband told reporters that she would put on her makeup perfectly, and sometimes they would see her trying to look at the TV from the corner of her eyes, but she never admitted to faking her blindness until recently. But what on earth would possess anyone to fake blindness for nearly 3 decades? Question mark.
Your family.
If we continue to ramble on about sports, would you fake deafness?
Yeah. Nobody's hearing nothing. I can't hear anything. Okay. Just finish your story. This is your story, Boo.
She apparently did it to avoid having to greet and talk to people she didn't actually like. Here's a quote. I was tired of meeting people on the street and stopping to say hello. I've never been a very social person, and by pretending to be blind, I was able to avoid many social responsibilities, she said, according to High Noticia. Apart from having to explain her family why she lied to them for so many years and meeting the very people she was trying so hard to avoid, she is also facing legal problems because, having registered as a blind person, she has received special financial aid. Just got real up in here.
Oh, yeah. Now it's coming out of my pocket.
So she... Oh, wow.
Well, not actually, because this is from Spain.
Right, but still, my type of people
it now affects the community.
Yes, exactly. That's no good.
It went viral on Latino news sites in Europe and South America. News of her mind-blowing deceit went viral on Latino news sites in both Europe and South America, but I'm not at all convinced it's legit. So I think the author is saying it might be bullshit. It's downright preposterous to believe that someone could fake blindness for so long without anyone noticing. Plus, doesn't the government test people before offering them financial... Okay.
Yeah,
so,
no.
But the government...
Probably not.
Okay, so going back to my childhood... I did this really stupid thing when I was little because all of my siblings had glasses. I mean, bad eyesight runs in my family. My twin brother, who I always wanted to be like, got glasses when he was in 1st grade, right? And I always wanted to be like him. Everybody else had glasses before me. I was the last one to get glasses. I think I was the last one to get glasses. Something like that. But anyway, I wanted glasses so badly, but I didn't actually need them. So... I was already getting headaches like I always did, but my parents finally took me to the eye doctor because of my headaches. And I tried to fake my blindness because I wanted glasses, because I wanted to be like my siblings, because I was the last one. And so not being blind, I didn't know what it was like at the time. So the doctor caught on pretty quickly, and he asked me about colors. He's like, "What color is this?" And I was just like, maybe you don't see colors right. So I did some really stupid shit as a kid. So I was like, giving the wrong colors or whatever. And he was like, "No, you're not blind." Whatever. So I can understand the faking. Like, you can fake blindness if you know what it's like. You can easily be like, I can't read that, and just give the wrong letters. You just have to know what letters look the same. Don't go with the wrong color, though. You can still see color for the most part, unless it's too close together. I'm just giving you a heads up in case you ever want to fake that. In case you ever want to fake an eye test. Hold on. There's also no real proof that Carmen Jimenez actually exists. That was the next.
Oh my God, that's a whole other level.
Just the article from High Notosia, which was later picked up by others. What is this article I've picked? I'd really be surprised if it turns out to be true, but if it does, this will probably be the craziest thing anyone has ever done. That was the end of the article. So
we don't even know if it happened.
We don't even know if it was what is this from? Oddity Central is where this news story came from. What you got, Jay? What a weird story. Okay.
Yes, this one's probably going to be quick, so we're making good time here. So I'm just going to jump through this one real quick. My news story is thousands of Facebook users spread child porn in a misguided attempt to stop child porn. How did this happen? Over the past few months, a highly disturbing video showing a man committing a sex act on a young girl has been widely distributed via Facebook Messenger in the name of preventing the spread of child pornography. That's right. Thousands of people have voluntarily shared child pornography on Facebook, most of them presumably in an effort to catch the man shown in the video, as the video is accompanied by text urging people to share it so he could be identified. They did this apparently heedless of the fact that A, distributing child porn is illegal, and that B, sharing child porn in an effort to stop child porn is still spreading child porn. Local authorities,
Facebook users.
Yeah, local authorities have described the spread of the video as a nationwide epidemic, with one Michigan Sheriff's Office issuing alerts to remind the public that even with good intentions, spreading child porn is bad. Yeah. You think this is a no-brainer, but I guess people are just getting more stupid these days. BuzzFeed reported Tuesday that Facebook had become aware of the video on February 2nd and added it to a photo recognition service in an attempt to block it from further distribution. Of course, such efforts won't curb the likelihood of this happening again with a different image or video spread by Facebook users, because it comes with a message that may be concern trolling, telling them that spreading the video is for the public good. This is a long article. So how did presumably logical humans get roped into this mess? The video's spread can likely be attributed to a combination of three different scenarios. One, Facebook users genuinely wanted to help, so even though the video was illegal, they chose to overlook its content and pass it anyway. In this scenario, the Facebook users believed the greater good of catching a criminal outweighed the illicit and harmful content. 2, Facebook users got duped into watching the video, decided to dupe other people in kind, so they passed the video along. In this scenario, users behaved in true troll fashion, getting played and then playing the game in turn. Or 3,
troll fashion.
Yeah. Facebook users didn't look closely enough at the video to realize it contained child porn, but wanted to pass it anyway in case someone else watched it and recognized the perpetrator. In this scenario, the pressure to signal boost might have overhidden critical thinking.
All people care about is their likes.
Taken together, these scenarios reflect the range of obstacles to establishing context and knowing the sources to rely on when dealing with viral content in the internet. Oh, and just in case you forgot, these are the same users that Facebook is relying on to responsibly crowdsource the news. But at least the problem of viral child porn on Facebook Messenger seems to be on the wane. This time, for now. Who would open a child porn video and be like, "Oh, I gotta forward this to my buddy.
Forward this so everybody can find the guy." No.
So, what's our topic for today?
Moving on to our topic.
Topic time.
What you got, Mike?
Topic time.
Follow your heart.
Nisha's favorite topic of all time is
or
about
follow
to
your
drop.
head. Would you like to start off with that?
I would not.
Okay. I'll.
So, would you follow your heart?
To
or your
be
head?
honest,
Follow
I'm
your heart or your
following both right now. I would not like to start. Go ahead.
Knowing full well that nobody you know listens to this podcast, you can say whatever you want, Neisha.
I can say whatever the hell I want.
Except for Mike. Mike listens to it religiously.
Oh, yeah. I listen to it 2-3 times an episode.
I care deeply about what Mike thinks about
we all do.
Me.
Heart or head? You know, in my youth, it was heart. Obviously, usually, you're like, oh no, this just feels right. I want to do this. I want to go do that. You always follow your heart. You know what you want to accomplish. As you get older and you get more, and you know, we've had this topic at times. You know, you get older and you have more responsibilities and obligations. Obviously, it's your head. Uh-huh. You know, you think about your head. Okay, I need to keep this job, or I need to do this and do this, not that, because it's you want to follow your heart, but I don't know. It's head. It's head for me. I mean, yeah, you still want to do things that, kind of following your heart, but it still always goes back to head. It has to go back to, does it fit within, our family plans? Does it fit within the budget? Does it fit within, some goals we have as a family? Mm-hmm. Because, you do still have individual goals as a family, but, mm-hmm. Typically those individual goals now have to fit within the whole scheme of the family plans and all that. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying you can't follow your heart when you're doing that, but certainly you default more to your head than anything. You may want certain things, but what you may do is if you're trying to follow your heart a certain way, mm-hmm. for a while you follow your head to get to where you can follow your heart. Mm-hmm. Like if, I need to follow my head and maybe save a little money or do this for a while so that then in turn I can follow my heart and do this.
Right.
So you have to kind of use one to get to the other. You can't just say, I'm going to follow my heart from now on. You have to follow your head and use that to get back to the other way, if that's what you're after.
You got to use your head to reach those stepping stones in order to be able to follow your heart and just do whatever you want.
Yeah. I mean, in the past, you could just follow your heart. Fuck it. You don't have a lot of things to worry about thinking too much into this with
hearts
this.
Don't think rationally.
Yeah, and you don't have to. When you're younger, you don't have to. But when you're in a situation where now let's follow my head for a while, and if there is something I want to follow with my heart, it's like, okay, let's plan it out. So you have to, you're
still thinking with your head.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It always defaults to head, but if there's something you want with your heart, I guess, or follow with your heart. Unless you're doing something
super spontaneous.
Well, yeah, but let's not kid ourselves. Jay and I don't do a lot of spontaneous things anymore. Probably, am I wrong?
I mean, to be fair, I don't really either.
So I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing. That's just we just don't anymore. I think a lot of people in their 40s do. If they do, they're labeled as a certain way, or they're getting divorced, or they're this or that. But no, I think you can follow your heart, but you certainly have to follow your head to get to the ability to follow your heart. If that makes any kind of sense.
It does, but at the same time, I could think of a couple instances where I very much followed my heart way before my head kicked in.
Oh, and it mainly meant, I think we all did that.
Like there were times where I just called into work for a few days and bought a plane ticket. And it was back when I worked at the same place Jason does, and where you have to give a heads up. And I was just like, no, I'm going to call in. And I took way too much time off and just bought a plane ticket and flew across the country for a couple days. And I was like, that probably wasn't the smartest idea. Hindsight, probably shouldn't do that again. And then I did it 2 years later again.
I have an amazing story speaking about flying across country on a whim.
So you were following your heart.
No, it wasn't about me.
Oh.
We have a friend that we all know. I won't say his name, but I don't really speak to him anymore. But we were in college, and we had you get student loans or whatever, you pay for your tuition, and then you have whatever's left over. So me and some of my friends used to work at this call center where you would call in, or parents would call in to get to sign up for an 800 number, so their kids could call them 1-800, and then it would just get charged to their credit card or whatever. And apparently, there was this girl who, I guess she would just call numbers, and she would do weird, talk dirty to you or whatever, and she would masturbate. And so
this has gotten off topic.
Yeah. And so there was this time where like I was roommates with this guy and we were living with him and another person and then this other person. We were all sharing this apartment, and he kind of just disappeared for a couple days or whatever. You're like, where the hell is this guy? And so this girl that she called up to work, she called the number to our job or whatever, and she was like looking for him. She's like, where's blah blah blah? And we were like, what? He's like, yeah, he flew out here to see me, and he was going to call me when he got back. It was like, well, first of all, are you sure you're talking about the right person? They're like, yeah. And then he came back, and we were like, we knew that he was like what he had done. We were like, wow, this perverted son of a bitch. So he got back, and we were like, so where have you been? He was like, oh, I was just in study groups for finals, and I just was like doing stuff. And we're like, really? He's like, yeah. I was like, really? Because the chick that would call our number at work and masturbate was called up here looking for you. Said you had flown out to see her in Arizona. He got all like flustered. He's like, I was like, so where'd you go? So he flew out there, banged her, and then he caught from Arizona. He was like, well, there was a connecting flight was through Las Vegas. So he caught a flight to Vegas, and he stayed there like an entire day. And then he flew back to Austin.
What? Yeah. That is such a crazy story.
Yeah. And we were just like, so he had like $2,000 in like money saved from his student loan. He blew all of it to fly to Arizona, fly to Vegas, and then fly home just to bang this chick.
I mean, that's a good story, though. That's a good...
Not one his wife will ever hear. I can guarantee you that.
Oh, well, that's definitely not using your head.
That is... Yes.
Wow.
Did you?
That's
crazy, right?
I wish I would have known that in having conversations with this person in the past. I probably could have gotten some very good details about that.
Yeah.
I'd actually like to hear the story.
I would like to hear it from him as well.
You would have to get probably 5 or 6 drinks.
And I think we could do that because I have been there with him, and I think I probably could have gotten that.
I haven't spoken to him in like 2-3 years.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I need to chat with him about that. We need to.
Anyway.
That's funny.
Getting back on topic. Nisha.
Why me? Go Mike first.
You already answered the question.
I said you want to do hard, but you got to use your head to get.
You started the whole thing.
I have an odd way of looking at it. Would you like me to go, Neisha?
You started like
Nisha's hoping. No.
I just was like.
You said you have an odd way of looking like it. Go.
So I look at it.
Why would you not continue? I said I have an odd way of looking at it. Pause. You go first.
Well, and Mike can appreciate this. Like I was kind of a son of a bitch when I was in my 20s and early 30s or whatever.
A little bit,
yeah. So in my 20s, like my heart was telling me stay in my focus on my relationship, blah blah blah. But my head was like, I want to go after that. I want to go after that, and I knew in my heart that it was terrible. But my head was like, no, man, I'm going to do whatever I want to do. I don't fucking, I don't care. And so I would, basically go with my head and like logically kind of explain to myself how this wasn't really as bad a situation as it could be or really was or whatever. But, so in my 20s, that's how I feel. And now in my, now that I'm in my current relationship, my heart is telling me like, has basically cut off all of that head stuff. It's like the Grinch's heart grew 4 sizes, and now the head is being drowned out.
Big sap.
Well, see, I think of the head. You're using it in a different context, I guess, than I am. I think of head as more of a planning kind of.
And I did everything I did was totally planned. Like, yeah. Like it was never a pat. Like it was basically people. I would just like plan on how I could like go after this person and get this person, and it was never. There was never any, like, I want to be with this person. Like, there was never any heart-white feelings for it. It was all just, I just want to sleep with this person. And when it was done, or I keep sleeping with them. Never any emotional attachment or heart attachment. I mean, granted, there wasn't a lot of heart attachment in my relationship, but after a certain point, but obviously. But, once you meet the right person, your person, then all that kind of, like, your heart makes you want to be in that relationship. Yeah. Not like, see, it's not like, But I feel like that's a topic for another day.
We bring up so many topics that are for another time.
Yeah.
We're going to get to those topics eventually.
Maybe none of us write him down, so probably not.
No, that one I feel like at some point will be triggered.
You're going to have a...
Eventually.
Maybe years from now. 10, 15 years. We don't know. We'll all be gray.
Probably, yeah, we're both gray.
Mike will be completely gray. I'll be completely bald.
I'll probably be very salt and peppered by then.
You'll be salt and
peppered. And then we'll be all in a bar, in a lonely bar.
But we should be recording this.
In a dark corner.
Yeah. It finally happened.
Yeah. Why did we stop recording?
I'm 72 years old.
Remember 15 years ago when we said this would come around?
Yeah. I'm 72 years old, and Neisha's like, I'm 59. But I regress.
Neisha, it's your turn. I know you hate this.
I know you don't want to talk about this topic. Nobody's listening. Except for me and Mike and 12 other people.
Yeah.
Who we all are related to.
Who we all know.
Hi, Nancy.
Yeah, hey, Nancy. Dad. Miss you. Can't wait to see you again.
Hey, Beto. Hope things are well. See you soon.
I think it depends a lot. I think for the most part, I think with my head. So when I was younger, I did like everybody. I did a lot of things with my heart, but now it's like hold on. Let me gather my thoughts.
Hold the door.
Hold up. Let me think my thoughts real quick. So, like most people, when I was a little bit younger, I did a lot of things based on my heart. Like I went on random ass trips that I probably should never have gone on, but it was just good experience at the time. I've always been someone that thinks a lot. Most of my time in my day, if I'm not speaking at the time, is spent thinking. And if I'm speaking at the time, I'm probably still thinking about what I'm saying wrong in that instance. So I'm still thinking about it. So I'm very much a very heavy head-based type of person. There have been many times over the past 10, 12 years where people disagree with me and they like to try to give me advice, and I'm like, wait, I'm going to stop you right there. I know you really want to give me advice, but I can guarantee that any possible thing you could tell me right now, I've already thought of 16 times. And I've thought of every single outcome 16 times. But my heart is so conflicting to everything, because I'm like so conflicted on so many levels, but on everything. Like my heart says one thing because I don't like to hurt people. I like to make people feel good.
A fault.
It's like it's this huge conflicting thing, but it's like I know, and I'm talking like, because my high school and earlier life was a completely different situation. Like 20 and before, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like 20 to now, the past 10 years. And this has been a very common recurring thing. The past 10 years.
You're so young. I'm just like 20 to now. No. Like, I think, oh my God. I've always really been old.
I've always been friends with people 10 years older.
I know. I'm not insulting. I'm just like
the entire time. Whew. Getting a little old. You started feeling creaky right now. Your elbow just popped. What just happened?
It does often, yes.
So it's like it's always a very conflicting thing, because I know my head is thinking one thing, but my heart is just like, but I care for like the certain whatever situation I'm in. I'm always thinking about people involved, and I feel like that's like thinking, quote unquote, thinking about people involved. You think it was a head thing, but I feel like the one reason that I'm so conflicted is because my heart is super involved.
The heart is a strong force to deal with.
So I feel like I'm always constantly in situations where people are like, change it, and I'm like, no, but it's more complicated than that. Well, just change it. No, it's more complicated than that. So that's my life. I'll punch you again, Jason Buck.
Oh, that's edited. We're going to have to cut that.
Yeah, we're going to cut that. Let me write that down on the list.
Punch Jay. Down the list of things to do.
So yeah,
it's
a complex thing in my, like, it's always a struggle. It is always a struggle because I can guarantee you anything that you can possibly tell me about my life right now, about future plans, about things that happened in the past, about my current situations in general, I have already thought about. That's all I do is think, and I think about every single outcome, and I think about every single XYZ, but my heart is greatly involved in every single decision I make as well.
I mean, I can see you, yeah. Like I said, the heart's a tough one to move away from. You know, if you're in a situation where you could say, okay, well, let me think more logically about that and come back around to it over time. But if you're not in a situation to do that, it's a little hard.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's why I don't like that conversation, is because I get it from friends and family alike, both sides. They just always want to, and I don't feel like anybody's preaching at me. I feel like they all just want to give me like their point of view and their advice, and it's always just like, I know. Like, you can't tell me anything I don't know. Like, it's very rare. It is extremely rare, and I don't want to like discourage people from giving me their advice, because sometimes it's just good to hear an outside source telling you the same thing. But it's like, I know already because I've thought about this. Yeah. Forever. Like, I already know what you're going to say. I already know. I've thought about it.
What's funny is a lot of people that try and give you advice, they just don't get it that you're thinking that way too. Like you said, you've already gone over every scenario there is in your head, but they're trying to push this one way on you or this and that. You're like, yes, I've thought about that.
Well, I'm not saying advice is bad. Like I said, sometimes it's good to just hear it and to hear it in slightly different terms. And to hear it from a different person other than your head. Sometimes it is good to hear it, but at the same time, it also gets frustrating because I do think so much, and I'm just like, I know. Yeah. I know. So it is frustrating at the same time. But I will be honest and say, for the most part, in my past 10 years, my heart has always won over my head. It's very rare that my head wins those battles. So it's always just like, this is what I feel like I need to do. I know it's not necessarily the best idea or the smartest thing to do, but this is what I feel like I need to do. This is what I feel like I have to do. So
it's hard to say which way.
So you're saying, wait. So you're saying that you feel like your heart wins out over your head in these scenarios? Yeah. You don't think it's your head talking your heart out of doing what you feel like you want to do?
Ooh, man, that's where it gets crazy.
Ooh,
no,
I mean,
you're right,
once
though.
You say that,
I think it's the complete opposite of what you're saying.
It's hard to say sometimes what you're going off of. Are you going off?
I think your heart is telling you. Well, in general.
Well, I feel like my head.
But your head is like worried about the ramifications of these things. Like,
well, no, I feel like the reason I think it's the other way around is because I think so much, and it's just like I think about every like small detail, and I think about all the different outcomes, and I think about XYZ. So I think about it, but then it's my emotion, which comes from heart. My emotion is what's driving me to ultimately do whatever I do. So I can understand where you're saying it's not, you think it's your heart that's saying one thing, but your head ultimately wins over. But I think it's me personally, my emotion drives a lot of my bigger decisions and not my head. Even though I know, like I think about so many things. I know I make a lot of decisions.
I didn't say anything.
No, I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything.
You were like, I don't know. Like, you're looking at me like...
I'm mainly talking to myself right now. So, like, yeah, I know that maybe one outcome would be more beneficial, but when I when I think about it more, I'm like, but what are the implications for all these people involved? And that's the problem, is because I start thinking about other people involved instead of myself, and like what I want and everything. And so that's where I think
that's your problem. I think your head puts other people's...
And that's where the heart comes from. The head puts...
Yes and no.
The emotion, I think, comes from the heart. The head is the rational thinking.
I don't think it's... well, I guess worry is an emotion.
Yeah. So that's why
it's not the right type of emotion, I think, is what I'm
not trying to say
we're getting onto something very specific that we shouldn't be talking about on the podcast.
I don't think that every decision I've made in the past has been a bad decision.
No, I don't think so either.
And I'm not trying to clue in by any means on any certain situation. I'm just saying this is how I am in general. This is very much what I've come to learn about myself over the past 10 years.
Yeah.
About so many decisions.
Yeah, and I'm not, and by all means, I am not somebody to be casting stones, because I lived in a relationship that was completely comfortable for probably 10 years more than I should have been in a relationship that was just because it was comfortable and, we got along and all this stuff, and then I went from that relationship into a completely crazy relationship, and which is why I feel like I can bestow such good advice on people. Because I know that you sludge through a lot of shit before you get to the good stuff. And you can't get to the good stuff until you're willing to leave the shit behind. And it may not be shit. It may be comfortable. It may be good for what it is. But it's not where you need to, where anybody, not you, but like, it's not where anybody needs to end up. You don't need to stay in the shit when you know that this shit ain't right. and I don't believe in like the one, I'm not one of those uber romantic people like you have a soulmate or any of that shit, except for I met mine, obviously. Obviously
she's great.
She's awesome. But and this is why I don't like to talk about it, because I feel like I get preachy. But I feel like I'm trying to bestow on people, and I understand there's a lot of ramifications for certain people. Like, there's the same thing like with me and people in my past. There was living arrangements to work out.
No, there's always
all these. There's all kinds of other things you have to think about. There was, I was with somebody I was worried about what they would do when we broke up, because they were kind of crazy. I'm not talking about the one that you were fond of.
The one.
No, like the in between one, I guess. The one on the road to the one. She was. Yeah. Who
mouth.
Yeah, you know who you're talking about, because when we broke up, everybody's like, "Aren't you so relieved?" Like, I was like, "Wow, was it that bad?" It's like, "Oh my God, you were pulling your hair out."
So in all these like situations, do you think it was your head leading you to those decisions?
No. I think it was my head telling me, with the first scenario, I know I'm not happy, but this is just a comfortable situation that I'm in.
So your heart was telling you it was comfortable, but
my head was telling me it was comfortable, and my heart was like,
okay,
I was completely ignoring my heart. I knew I was completely unhappy. My head was telling me, if this ends, everything that I have known for like 10, 20 years, 18 years, whatever it was, it's going to be over. Like everything had been built up as a joint venture for.
So it's kind of opposite from
I think we think between the difference between what our head is telling us and what our heart, we're completely flip-flopped on that. Like, what I think my heart is telling me, you think your head is telling you, and vice versa.
Yes.
We don't see it the same way, but it's like we're differentiating them the same way, but it's like the different things telling us different things.
There's also the aspect of
I'm also a woman, and I care a lot more about things, and Jason's a dude, and dudes don't care about things. Is that what it is?
No, there's also an aspect of
oh boy.
There's you guys are heartless, right?
There's also an aspect.
Everything is their heads.
We used to be. We're not anymore.
Not anymore.
We're enlightened. There's also an aspect of not wanting. You feel like you don't like the person that flew to Vegas, for instance, on that whirlwind trip to Arizona. Is in a relationship, and you guys know him. He's a completely unhappy person. It takes like 5 or 6 drinks to get him to loosen up at all.
I've been around this person and cannot even imagine that he's the person in that story.
Yeah, like
he doesn't seem like somebody.
He is like super reserved, and you can tell the unhappy oozes from him until he gets like 6 drinks.
Yes,
and then he's like the old person, and he's
That's
like
a lot of drinks.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, but he is like he's this, like, I'm not saying you're like this, but he's like, well, I really love my wife, and I couldn't imagine not being with her. And he's not talking about her. He's talking about his lifestyle and like his house, like what he's living, this lie that he's living or whatever. He goes out of the country and he bangs other people. Like, he cheats on his wife. He went to Kansas City and looked up like hookers on his phone. His wife went through his phone. He said, "What the hell is this?" And he's like, "Oh, I was just fucking around while I was in Kansas City." And she believed it because she wants to live the lie. If I came home from Kansas City and hookers on my phone, and my wife went through my phone and said, "What is this?" I thought, I was just fucking. She'd be like, "You were bullshit."
Yeah.
I don't think any logical person would be like, "Oh yeah, okay."
Most people would.
And these people,
I made a joke about our group Tinder account, and Katie wanted to see my phone.
Oh, good thing she didn't see my phone.
Yeah,
because we will be on Tinder. It's coming. 2018, we're on Tinder. I'm going to set that up.
Isn't that crazy? It's 2018.
Yeah, I'm still going to set that up. These people don't have kids, right?
Please do.
No, she had a kid when she was like 16,
but they don't have kids together.
Here's the worst part of that whole story. When I told him that he needed, like, he was unhappy, he's like, "Well, if I ever did decide to break up with her, I would have to tell my mom first because she would be so pissed off at me." It's like, you would tell your mom you were leaving your wife before you told your wife.
But it's not your
because
mom's
he has the expectations that his life, like when you knew what my life was like. But when we broke up, people were like completely shocked. Like, oh my God, you guys like seem like such a great couple.
Well, yeah, people not in the know were shocked.
Yeah, like stunned.
But I was like, this is going to happen any day.
Finally. Mike was like, "Oh, it finally happened."
I was new to that relationship.
You what?
I was new to that relationship. I didn't know what was going on. Oh boy,
I was deep into that one.
So I guess my point is, a lot of times you feel like you're being kind to the other person by sticking around. In your head, your heart, you feel like your heart is telling you that, but it's really your head saying it's comfortable. It sucks balls every like other week or whatever. But if we can just get through those rough patches, then it kind of gets back to the convenience and the comfort.
Well, the thing is, too, it's the easy thing to do.
It's the easy thing to do.
And most people take the easy way.
And that's why I was in a relationship for 10 years longer than I should have been in a relationship. And then I should have never been in a relationship for 3 years. Because it was comfortable. And then it was I went from that to the complete opposite, where it was such dysfunction, like insanity, that I was like, well, maybe this is what I deserve. This is what a non-comfortable relationship is supposed to be like.
So at the end of it, we don't know if we follow our hearts or our head.
Yeah, it seems like it's not.
It just...
I feel like we left this with more questions.
Yeah, I think we did too. I thought what I said first made sense, but now I'm listening to you two going, well, shit, what is it I'm following? My heart or
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's hard to say.
It is hard to say.
You can't pinpoint it. It really depends on the person, but it still doesn't make sense.
It's a combination.
It's a combination.
You have to follow both.
Honestly, I don't think your heart feels...
You have to think about it, too.
If you want to be, like, scientific about it, I don't think your heart feels shit. I think your heart...
I think your heart...
to pump blood, and that's it.
No.
Your brain is the one that makes your blood flow. So if your brain gets excited, then your blood pumps faster. And your brain controls your heart, in my opinion. So, and everything is all just in your head. But I understand where the thinking with your heart comes from, because I feel like that could be a, like, psychological... what's the word I'm thinking of? Not sociological. Something. So it could be a...
Psychological?
No.
Physiological?
I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to think of right now. It's late. I'm tired. I don't know what I'm trying to think of right now.
I mean, at the end of the day, you may feel like your heart is telling you you're doing right by somebody. But really, like when I was with that in a long relationship, staying with them even though I was doing all the stuff I was doing unhappily, my heart telling me, well, I don't want to hurt that person. I wasn't helping them or me.
Yeah.
And after the next relationship, I vowed that I would never get back into a dysfunctional relationship of any kind. And I've told my wife that the first sign of dysfunction, I'm out.
Oh, next time she's a guest on our show, we'll...
She looked through the window just now, and I was like, you walked through that door, and this is done.
And I didn't even like that. I didn't like that at all.
Your back is to her. But I went, oh, hi, Katie. It's a random face in the door. Jason's chugging the rest of his beer. Couldn't hear that.
We got us all riled up on this.
One more beer.
Mike, to wrap this up pretty quick, do you have a rant for...
One quick rant, corner? Yes. A number of weeks ago, we've had...
Sports are awesome.
Here we go again.
Here we go. Round 2.
Don't punch me, I bruise.
Go ahead.
I would have physical
Please,
proof.
We're all adults here. We don't punch.
This Me Too thing. Proof. You can't touch her, man.
Oh, yeah.
You can't even act like you're gonna do that. I'm just saying.
We already had the conversation where I let way more things with dudes slide than I probably should.
Well, I mean,
you don't have to be worried with me.
I've only touched you inappropriately one time, and that was in front of both of our girlfriends.
That's true.
And they were both pissed. It was so weird because we thought it was nothing.
No, well, we both
it was nothing to us, and then the whole night
we were both.
I can't believe you did that in front of me.
We were both a little tipsy, and
we were at Sherlock's. I remember this. We were at Sherlock's.
I remember.
We were talking about breasts, and Neisha. Her breast on the table like this.
Well, no, I didn't.
And then I just reached over and went. Table. And I just went.
No. I was talking about. Hold on. I feel like I need to actually.
Okay, set the
scene.
Okay.
Now that we're into this topic,
hey, you know what? Let's just cover this right now.
Okay.
Let's just talk about this.
So we were at Sherlock's. I was with my ex, and he was with his ex,
mm-hmm.
and. We were talking somehow, some way we started talking about boobs, and I was like, I don't like everybody. So if somebody touches a woman's boobs, they think it's like this very personal thing in there, and all these girls are like, no, you can't touch my boobs. Oh my god! And I'm just like, it's a part of your fucking body. Why do we have to sexualize it? I don't care. It's whatever. Like I don't. If somebody touches my boob, I'm just like, okay. Like unless they mean like a deeper purpose behind it. But if it's just like it's just like me grabbing Jay's boob or just like touching him on the chest. Doing this, why can't you do that to a woman? You just happen to hit a little bit more fat. That's all it is. It doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah.
And so we were both had quite a bit to drink.
We were pretty buzzed.
And he reached across the table.
And I just like grabbed her boob. Grabbed it.
Not like this like obnoxious
it wasn't like
grab. It was just like a little thing.
Like a little cuppage.
Yeah.
Never let that down. Never let that down.
Yeah.
It got brought up constantly. My ex was pissed. His ex was pissed. They were both pissed for the entire duration of our relationship. It was like they kept bringing it up. And every single time...
me and her ex were in a band together, she was still pissed about it.
Yeah, every single time it got brought up, like if we weren't with Jason and it got brought up, I would text Jason and I'm like, guess what she brought up again? It was just like, oh my god, get over it. Yeah. But since then... We've exchanged shirts.
That's true. That was pretty funny.
We were again tipsy, and we took off our shirts in front of each other and changed them, and his felt really nice on me. I was like, because I kept pulling my sleeves up a little bit because they were a little loose.
Like crazy tight. It was purple too.
It was purple. It was a purple shirt. Yeah, it looked real good on you, Jay.
Very feminine. Like I was
super
on the prison playground.
It was like extra tight on Jason. But yeah, it's just I don't whatever. Like if you're not meaning it in a sexual way, it should not be considered sexual.
Yeah.
Like boobs are boobs. It's just your chest. It's just whatever.
True.
Get over yourself. Come on. But
I agree.
Like I hit guys in the chest all the time when I like just. Hey,
where would you draw the line? Like you hug each other all the time. You do this. I mean, where would you draw the line?
You can't touch chest.
I mean, I wouldn't cup her genital like her.
Well, yeah, but I mean, as far as
that's a little bit different because genitals are very, very, very sexualized, and it'd be very hard to accidentally cup someone in between the legs and be like, "This isn't sexual." A chest is different.
Although if Neisha cupped our genital, that wouldn't be sexual.
It would not be sexual.
She'd be like, ugh. Like, well, that's hurtful.
But it's real life.
Anyway, I'm just saying.
Life, yes.
I don't understand why people get so freaked out when people touch each other's boobs. It's like whatever.
True.
I mean, I don't necessarily want guys to come up to me and touch my boobs. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying if you happen, like, in a friendly way, touch my boobs, or it's just like, yeah.
I'm feeling now. Next time we get together for a podcast, I should wear a shirt that you're interested in. Maybe we
could do this next podcast topless.
Sure, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Next week. Start working out.
Next week. I know, me too. Can we get skinny in a week?
I'm going to go on a detox or something.
Can I get that one pack?
All these beers are not helping.
I've had way too many today. It's not good. It's not looking well for next week. My muffin tops are coming in.
Yeah. Mine's in the front.
Oh boy.
They're coming in on the side. Them love handles. They poke out over my pants. It's not attractive.
We just have to do it with no pants too.
I'll sit here in my boxers. I don't care.
That would look better for me, actually.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah.
We'll talk about
do it. We'll do it next time. We'll just sit in our boxers.
That will be Facebook Live.
Yeah, the least viewed Facebook post of all time. All right, so, Mike, do you have a rant?
No, I mean I did, but that was a pretty good, kind of off the cuff rant.
Do you want to give your rant real quick? Or?
No, I'm going to save it. I'm going to save it. We've gone long enough on this one.
All right,
but that was a good
off topic
rant. I actually wish most women felt that way, but not the case.
People are too uptight.
That's okay. It's all right.
People are way too uptight. But I will also say, some women definitely do have a reason to be uptight. But again, I've been open about this. My past is different than a lot of women's, and so I don't have that reason to be uptight.
That is an incredibly fair point.
So there is that. I'm not saying I'm just like super liberal in the sea of Republicans.
That's what Austin is. Super liberal city.
No, I'm not trying to say I'm like superior to anybody. I'm just saying my past has been different. That has led me to different life experiences,
I
different
think it's
ways of thought.
Everyone's personal,
for sure.
Everyone's experiences and past. And
this is very much a personal way of thinking, and I don't expect everyone to be this way by any means. So, all right, I think it's time to wrap this up. Good chat, guys.
Indeed, it was.
Indubitably.
Yeah, steal my word. That's a good word. You could use it though.
With my heart and my head.
My heart is telling me that you can use that word.
Well, the reason I came up with that was from Gilmore Girls.
No, I got it from
see, different sources.
Some kind of cartoon from when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I just can't think of the name of it.
See, and neither of you watched Gilmore Girls, right?
No.
So
my wife did.
The quote. She may get this. Please, somebody tell me that you know this quote other than me.
And that's not the new Gilmore Girls?
No, the original series.
Did you watch the new ones?
I did not actually watch the new ones.
Not yet.
Because it came out right when I started my job, and I very much fell asleep at like 7 o'clock every single night. So
what's the quote?
They say, "We certainly are entertaining, Tosh. We certainly are entertaining, Mac. Indubitably, Tosh."
Yeah, I don't know anything that went over my head.
I don't know.
Yeah, so if anybody knows that little snippet from Gilmore Girls, please let me know. I feel so alone all the time.
Well, yeah.
They geek out about their shows all the time, and then I'm by myself over here.
Well, I watch Buffy.
You watch Buffy, but we never quote Buffy. Y'all talk about Star Wars. You talk about
Star Wars is not like a genre. Like that is a worldwide phenomenon.
Yeah, that's
from 1977.
No, I get it. I'm saying I'm not a huge movie person. I'm a TV person.
Yeah. Did you hear Disney's starting their streaming network and they're going to have like a bunch of Star Wars shows?
I really hope they don't water down Star Wars.
But I already feel like they're on their way.
No,
what did you think of the Solo trailer?
Super stoked for Mulan.
I didn't care for it too much. I mean, it looks like it's going to be an okay movie.
Yeah, him.
But I still have to get past the fact that that's not Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
I think everything else may work.
I feel like the movie's going to be awesome.
Yeah, the movie might be weird. Yeah.
You kind of have to let go that is Harrison Ford's character.
And then the fact that, like you said, they're going to have a streaming service starting, next year? And they're going to already have a Star Wars series.
Yep.
And then, of course, they've already announced 2 additional trilogies,
yep.
With the guys,
from Game of Thrones and Rian Johnson.
And then, so, I mean, I just hope they don't water it down. I mean...
I'll be honest with you, man. I have, less than zero desire to see Episode 9 because J.J. Abrams is doing it.
No.
And they almost ended the fucking trilogy at the end of 2 because like they killed off all the important people, and that's all I got to say about that.
I haven't seen anything to say about that, so.
All right, guys. Well, that was a good, interesting change of stuff. Like, I feel like we talked about Head and Heart, but then I feel like we got a little deeper than I was expecting us to go. And I will just end this with saying I want all my friends to be happy. And I feel like
follow your heart.
Sometimes you have to put yourself above others.
#truth.
Whatever makes you happy.
We're all adults here. We're in relationships with adults. Well, my wife's not, but
I'll talk to her about that later and be like, you know what? You should really think about being in a relationship with an adult soon.
You should really, yeah. She definitely married down. Well, everybody, that has been a real jaunt down memory lane. It's fun times.
That was fun. Good episode, guys.
Yeah, it turned out to be a pretty good episode, I think.
It was all right.
All right.
It was all right.
It was all right.
Mike was okay with it.
It was all right. No, I liked it.
Nisha contributed a lot more than I thought she was going to.
You did good, Nisha. I know it was a tough
I know it was a tough one for you.
I'm just trying
given
to be
your disability.
Open and honest. Thanks, Jay.
You're welcome.
You understand me.
I do. All right. Peace.
See ya.
Bye.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Hopefully we didn't offend.
But we probably did. Follow us on Facebook
and Instagram.
This was
Got Off Topic. Anal
jokes.
Oops.